Okay, so Liam,
Oh, hi.
what do you expect to see in a typical magazine film front cover?
Well, Jack, when I first see a magazine front cover, I instantly want to see the main character, some of the cast. Like, for example, in Empire, when Batman v Superman came out, on the front cover was instantly Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman, all in costume. So we instantly saw the protagonists behind them was kind of the backdrop of the film, so we knew where the film was taking place. They were all in costume, so we know what it was, and we kind of just got a feel for the film. There was also some text on it saying, in-depth conversation with Ben Affleck, so on and so forth. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll really be able to get a sense of what this film's going to be like. And I think people read magazines to try and just understand the film more before it comes out, because so much hype's around it. You're like, oh, I just want to learn more about this film, but I can't. It's not out yet, so I just have to, keep myself going. And I think that's why people read magazines about films, and for the reviews and so on and so forth. So I think on the front cover you need to have the main character, and just he needs to be catchy, like a good slogan. Sometimes there's a kind of like quote on there, like a slogan for the film. But mostly I just want to see the main characters. I want them in costume, and I just want to be like, wow, that's instantly Batman. Like, for example, in the Empire magazine, I instantly saw Batman. I was like, oh, I love Batman. I instantly saw Batman, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to read this magazine now, because I know exactly what I'm going to get in it. And and I think that's why people read magazines, to just try and get an idea about the film. So I think having the main protagonists, having the background of the film on the magazine somewhere, and just having a bit of like kind of clickbait, just in-depth conversation, something we haven't known yet. Read the magazine to find out. Will kind of get people to read it and try and learn more about the film before it comes out.
What do you expect to see in a typical movie magazine front cover?
Movie magazine front cover is just a bit of advertisement, really. So you would want a big promotional photo, which you'll get on the actual front cover, so of the main actor, and then like the nice title of the film, like I assume in a little bit of print text here saying what the article is, and maybe a cool quote from that article. It's like selling the film from the actor they interviewed or the director. The normal, like you have like Empire, for example, written across the top, or Total Film, and obviously they might, depending on the magazine, like Empire might change up its house style. Like, for example, they normally have quite a red house style, to go red as in theatres, but when I brought like the Star Wars limited edition cover last year, the house style changed up. For Yoda it was green, for the Stormtroopers they went with a very white and black house style, and Kylo Ren they went very dark colours. Still had the red but went quite dark, so you might want to change up your house. They might want to change up the house style for the particular film. And apart from that, on the front cover I can't think of much else. Generic barcode, obviously, if you want to buy it, that sort of stuff. But no, just a bit of advertisement for other films, because it might solely be for that one, but they probably may say usual articles inside on some point as well, which be like in Empire, or a pint of milk questionnaires, or generic interviews and generic reviews, for example. So like, you don't want to make it solely just about that film. You want to keep up the mystique, if you're creating one which is made up, that it is a normal magazine which has other aspects of films in it, not just that particular film. But that's the sole purpose of that magazine, so you do want to make it really big and stand out.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so Anthony, what do you expect to see in a typical thriller film magazine, movie magazine front cover?
Well, I wouldn't want to see anything too complicated, really, because if you have too much on the front cover, then it's crowded, and then you don't really get the idea of what the film could be like. Such as some magazine covers like Empire, they keep it nice and simple, and they have the main characters put onto the front of the magazine cover, so you can see they're the main characters, and also it stands out a bit more. It's a bit bold having the main characters just put out there.
Okay, thank you. So Jordan, what do you expect to see on a typical movie magazine front cover?
Well, you usually see one of the main characters from the movie on the front, and then like the rest of the front of the page would coincide with the colours of that character. So Captain America would be red, white and blue, and then probably advertising some upcoming films as well around the edge.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so Neve, what do you expect to see on a typical movie magazine front cover?
Well, I expect to see one of the main characters from the movie, and either their the actress's name or the film title in big bold letters that is obvious to see. This brings the audience's attention to it straight away, and it makes them eager to find out more about the film.
Okay, so Sam, what do you expect to see on a typical movie magazine front cover?
I expect to see the main character. For example, Pirates of the Caribbean, I expect to see Jack Sparrow on there, and obviously because of it, it's just so you know who the character is, and it kind of, you see what sort of actors are going to be in it.
Yeah, so talking about the Pirates of the Caribbean, I analysed one that had Captain Jack Sparrow on it. What do you expect to see, like the house style of the magazine, like the colours on it and things like that?
For that one, I expect kind of like dark colours, obviously, because I've seen the film before and it's quite a mysterious, odd kind of film. Whereas if it was a comedy, I'd expect kind of like bright colours, sharp things going on, so it's quite sharp, and because the comedy's funny, so you'd expect warming and bright colours, because obviously funny.
Yeah. What about if it was a thriller film? What kind of colours would you expect to see in a thriller film magazine?
Maybe like dark, slightly colours, like, because obviously it's mysterious and like warning, and obviously thriller, there's like, they use shadows and stuff obviously when there's like things gonna happen, so obviously that's quite dark as well. So
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sam. So, Danny, what do you expect to see in a typical thriller film? Sorry, not thriller film. A typical front cover for a movie magazine.
Well, for a movie magazine, I mean, obviously it's the movie itself portraying it perfectly, because you really want to see how the film is going to be given back magazine cover. It's a lot like a poster for a movie to a sense, but you're more in-depth. You really want to grab you to make you want to read about it and find out more about the film. So I think really adding a lot of the different conventions into that, so you want a bit of the story in there, could be, I don't know, some text that gives a hint to what it is, some of the characters, some of the costume, a big one is the location could be in there. You want to really add key features into what is going to be in the film into this sort of poster, and as I say, I could really link with the text, like the location could link with the text perfectly. And so I recently saw one for the film Taken, which I researched into, and that was just Brian Mills on his own, but it was quite dark and it had more text on it, which really gave it in-depth sort of into the plot of the film and where it could be located. It really put into what could be going on. And I think sort of minimalist, not much location, just the character on his own in costume obviously, because the costume really helps. Just with all the different texts and that really gave sort of insight into it. It leaves really like a cliffhanger to a sense, makes you want to read on, makes you want to watch the film. So I think, to me, obviously location is important, you've got costume and character which is important, but I think the most important thing in sort of magazine article, magazine front cover is the text to a sense, because the text is what leaves you with that cliffhanger, it's what makes you want to keep watching, make you want to see the film.